Hi, everyone. Welcome to another exciting edition of Words, Images, and Worlds. Loving the affordances of meeting in online spaces because I'm talking with a creator who I believe is in a different part of the world. So, thanks to online apparatus and some time zone math, I'm delighted on this episode to be talking with comics creator Jonathan Cowen. Jonathan, thank you for jumping in and joining.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Is it Cowen? Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, you're right, actually. I was surprised you pronounced it correctly. Normally people say Cohen. I live in Sweden now and everyone says Cohen here, so I kind of got used to it.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. You might be, I don't know if you're the first person I've talked to from Sweden or who's in Sweden as we're recording, but certainly among the select few. So,
Yeah,
delighted to be connecting.
yeah. I'm originally from London and yeah, I moved here when I met my wife and we stayed and yeah, now we got two kids and yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. I visit
Nice.
London every now and then and yeah, it works.
Nice, nice. Well, I know that the series that you're working on is DOMO Police. That's
Yeah.
volume three that currently just got funded on Kickstarter. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, just last night it just finally got the full funded so yeah, and there's 9 days left of the campaign as well. So yeah.
So now we're in stretch goals and all of those sort of wonderful things.
Yeah, I'm gonna do stickers, I think, if it gets a bit further along, but we'll see. Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna wait and see and then work out what I do.
Cool, cool, yeah. Well, curious about your origin story as a storyteller. What got you into the world of comics and telling stories this way?
Oh, well, I started quite young. I think I was 8 years old or something, and I started reading. It was called Action Force in the UK, but it's GI Joe. I think it was the started off reading those comics as kids, and just started drawing my own comics. And then as I got older, I discovered Marvel, American comics like Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee and yeah, and then I don't know, it was a bit probably just felt like, oh, I could do something like this for myself, and then I sort of gave up in my 20s. I made comics all the way up until then, and then um, I I started again in my 30s, and yeah, now it's something I enjoy doing. I do graphic design and for a living, and but I've always fancied doing comics. But yeah, it's sort of a hobby that I enjoy doing, and hopefully would like to transition more into doing, comics. Uh,
Yeah. No, lots of folks have sort of navigated to the creator-owned space. So curious about what that's allowed you to do, being on Kickstarter and exploring the idea of sharing your work that way.
oh yeah, well, it's quite tricky these days to get published, I think. I've been published with Antarctic Press, and I did two story Penguina stories for them, which is their mascot character, and that was fun. And I did one for Ninja High School, backup story, and but yeah, they're actually really great. But I haven't really had a chance to publish my own comics like regularly. And so, but I found Kickstarter is a brilliant way to sort of publish work, find your audience, and
Mhm.
I've had starting to get repeat people coming back that read the first few books and coming back for the latest book, and this one is been more fun in some ways because sometimes I've harassed my friends to back my books and family members and stuff. But this time I didn't at all. I just advertised it on social media and
Mhm.
did it. And loads of people I don't know have been signing up for it. So I'm very pleased to slowly
Nice.
grinding out an audience. It's yeah, of course I'd love to be with a big publisher. Maybe one day somebody would like to offer me a publishing deal, but at the moment it's crowdfunding.
Yeah, there are all sorts of gatekeepers and things of that nature. So I love that
Yeah,
folks can go on and share in crowdfunding spaces.
yeah. It-
Yeah,
yeah, it's tricky, but yeah. I think I've been at it a while now, but I think starting to I think I'm improving.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah. Now, for readers who are uninitiated with the world of Domo Police, anything
mm.
that you'd like to share about that particular vision, the story that you're unfolding there?
Yeah, it centers around this character called Morgan March, and she's a witch cop, officially known as a DOMO police officer, which DOMO stands for Demons, Occult, and Magical Organizations Police, and she manages supernatural monsters and demons and occult groups that try to do harm to people in the and she's actually her dad's a demon and her mum is a witch and but she's trying to live a normal life,
Hmm.
she lives in a place called the City. It's a massive city that doesn't have a name, and she works there as this police officer, um, assigned to the this agency called Domo, and yeah, and she has to deal with all the supernatural incidents that happen, and she's trying to live a normal life, but her dad and her family keep coming to visit and causing trouble as well. So it's about sort of having to deal with awkward family members and
Yeah.
yeah. So the previous story was called Hell's Children, and her brother gets sent to live with her, and he's a bit he causes trouble and gets involved with a gang, and then she has to go and rescue him. They're sort of a witch gang as well. They're sort of a bit they kidnap this superhero anyway, so she ends up having to rescue that person as well. So yeah, and in this story, she has a girlfriend now, a superhero called Juno Tan Tan Juno Kaneko. That's it. I'm really
Hmm.
bad at pronouncing words. Kaneko, and yeah, and Kaneko, yeah, that's it. And basically, she's a like rich she's a heiress. She's got loads of money, but she her parents died in mysterious circumstances. So now she's this vigilante called Stella J, and she has like a high-tech suit, but she hasn't really got any superpowers outside of that, very sort of Batman-esque. But and she's her girlfriend in it, and even though they're quite opposite, because like one's a police officer and one's a vigilante, kind of the opposites. They uh, they sort of make an interesting couple, and I think they sort of help each other out in these adventures and stuff.
Well, cool.
Uh,
I love the cast of characters and love how there can be paranormal sort of explorations in storytelling, but there's still that relatability of awkward family moments and things of that
yeah,
nature as
yeah.
well.
I sort of put a bit of my childhood into the stories every now and then, like my relationship with my dad, and growing up and dealing with annoying parents and siblings and stuff like that. And I sort and it's like it's just random things that I remember. I'm starting to stick into my stories. So, like her relationship with her dad is comes from my relationship with my dad. So it's kind of
Mm.
yeah, it's so but obviously it's different and supernatural and yeah, and I like the fact you can bring in all sorts of monsters into the story. Rather than fighting, like supervillains, I'm more into them fighting, demons and whatnot. Yeah. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now you're at volume three. Do you have a long range trajectory? Are you sort of taking it volume by volume, or just curious about that?
Yeah, well, I've always been interested in world building, and I grew up with my youth, when I was like 14 and stuff. I was reading Image comics, and I loved how they were. creating their own universe. And so yeah, I'm definitely about, and I like continuity as well. I like, to look back at issue one, or see issue two for this bit of information. So yeah, obviously I've got some ideas for book four, and I'd like to keep going. It depends, if as long as people keep supporting it, I guess I'll keep doing it. I sort of I kind of feel that being an artist and a writer and stuff, you don't ever really would give up doing these things, even if you feel like it, you'll probably end up back doing it a year later or something. So I just keep going along with it, and hopefully it gets better and maybe get more people involved. But at the moment,
Mhm.
I quite like the idea. I like manga creators where they do everything. They write it and they create this world and characters, and it's like all like an author, like a book author. I'm not. I don't know. With comics, when they you have someone doing a bit of everything, like inking and penciling and letters. I'm not really about that at the moment. It's more about having creating a world like a storyteller, doing it all. But it'd be quite
Mhm.
tiring. But I think, yeah, I kind of like that at the moment, having control. Yeah. So.
Uh,
mm.
any particular methods for world building? Are you a notebook keeper? Any
Yeah.
particular approaches you take?
I do like the Marvel method where you kind of write down the idea. You sort of
Hmm.
have an
Hmm.
idea what's going to happen, and then you just draw. And then you try to write as you go to get from A to B, and you don't really know what's happening in the middle. And so, and I tend to build my pages in Photoshop. So I draw everything with pencil and ink, and then I scan it or photograph it, depending what. And then I put it all into Photoshop and build the page in Photoshop, and then bring it in. And so then I can quite edit stuff. So if the story, if I'm writing as I go, and then find myself hitting a dead end or something, or something's not quite working out, I can shift it all around until it works again. And I find that's my edit process is
Hmm. Hmm.
shifting all my artwork around until I can make a page that's coherent and yeah. So that's kind of how I work. And I have a vague idea. Sometimes I have no idea. I just have a picture that I draw. Sometimes I draw something and then add the story from being inspired by the picture. So the artwork can actually change the story. I sit down every night and I do a few hours of work and I draw, and sometimes something completely comes out that I wasn't planning on drawing, and then ooh, that's good. That's something I didn't think, and then you can twist what the character's going to do or something. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, curious about any supporters, collaborators that you'd like to give a shout out to, and then, of course, the last question is where we can find and support the book.
Yeah, well, the book is on Kickstarter, and I had some people do some drawings for me for the Kickstarter, and I just get their names so don't forget. It was Ben. Here we go. Yeah, it was Michael Armstrong, Dylan Rowe, Mark Props, who actually used to draw for DC and Marvel back in I think the 80s, 90s. Mark Props
Hmm.
and Ben. Uh, am I pronouncing this right now? Eagle. Let me just see. Uh, Ben. Ben. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Ben Eagle. Sorry, Ben. I'm pronouncing. Uh, I'm terrible. Pronouncing names is something I'm really awful at, but hopefully Ben forgives me on that one. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's
And
that's the thing with email and electronic collaborations and things like that
yeah,
is sometimes the names. Yeah, but cool.
yeah, yeah. So Kickstarter is the best way to find my work. You can find me on Facebook at Build Studio Comics. So If you look up Vild Studio, VILD on Facebook or Instagram, you find me, and I sort of advertise and work all the time. And then I got some Domo Police will be out in Tomorrow Girl issue 11 through Antarctic Press. And that story is a 10-page story called Work-Life Balance. And that story actually appears in the Kickstarter book. But I'm going to update the artwork slightly in my version, my reprint. So yeah. But it's just been yeah, sort of overlapped. I thought they would have been out by now, but anyway, but yeah. So you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. Okay.
Cool, cool.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for doing the interview. And
Of
yeah,
course.
find any photos you want from social media and the Kickstarter, and be great.
Yeah, many thanks for joining, and certainly glad to have you back as you're working on other things. And
Yeah.
did we miss any spots in the interview that you want to make sure to share before we close out?
I don't know. I think it was good. I liked it. But
Same.
if you have any extra, if you need anything extra info or anything, let me know and I'll send it to you.
Sounds great. Thanks so much.